This is interviews, it's called A View of the Inlet. And it's, I guess, reflections on your life here in the inlet. And it doesn't necessarily have to be about the inlet, but there are things that you...
Are you going to talk to me from back there?
Well, since it's kind of a casual interview...
You might as well. Two voices would be great, sure.
Yesterday was your anniversary. Today is the 30th.
That's right. I keep forgetting the dates.
And the tide looks like it's going out right now. It's about, I guess, about 8 o'clock in the morning on October 30th. Tell me about this day. How do you feel today?
How do I feel? Are you starting the show?
Yeah, we're recording right now.
Oh, I didn't know that. I feel great. I'm 85 and still alive. Oh, I've been here for 50 years now, Paul. I came down here when they were first dumping the garbage into the creek. Of course, now it's all cleaned up, but that was strange then because it was a long time for me. I came out of the country up in Newburgh, New York, having lived a while in New York City, which I detest. But coming down here was a very strange place. I liked everybody. I was the first Yankee that moved in down here. They didn't even know what a Yankee was like, I don't think. And I was kind of like a bug on the sidewalk. A lot of funny things happen to a guy like that. But after a while, after these years now, I'm now a pillar of the community. Which is strange, because, you know, there's a time when they like to shoot at you. But no more. I've been here that long. Living right here on the creek on a point that sticks out into the water. Hit by a Hurricane Hugo, got wiped out, rebuilt, still here. And no longer, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, of course. You know, I'm 85 years old. How long I can stick around? I expect to be here for a long, long time, and believe me the way I think. However, ask me a question, Paul. What would you like to know?
Well, it's your anniversary.
Well, it's my anniversary. I've been married now for 19 years. My wife gave me the ticket because I sent her a card saying it was only 18 years. You should have heard her yell. Man, that woman can yell. But anyway, I sent her another card for 19 years, so she felt better. Took her out to supper and all that good stuff. My wife is from here. She's from Murrells Inlet. We live right down the street. It was a good date to have because all I had to do was yell, "Hey, Jay," and she could hear me. I didn't have to even go to the telephone. But I knew her when she was a little kid. I used to throw her out of my house when she was a little kid. She was the noisiest kid on the block. I don't throw her around anymore. Sometimes I like to, though. But anyway, we got married after she moved down here from Connecticut. They moved into the summer house they have right down the road here. And her father was very glad to see me marry her, mainly because he got his house back. And she moved right smack down the road, just maybe 3 minutes up the road. She came down here with her 2 children and her cat, moved into the house, and still was right in the neighborhood. I'll tell you something funny about this place. I had a friend of mine, Don Watts, and he was pretty much my native around. He was a native now. He was right down the creek. But one day somebody came to us and said, "You know anything about dynamite?" He said, "Yeah, I know about dynamite." They said, they want a channel built right out into the main channel, down right down the road, about half a mile down the road. They said, "Yeah, okay, I'll put some dynamite down there and dig out a channel." Well, Don, even though he wasn't all, well, now he knows about those things. But instead of putting out sticks of dynamite, he put out 4 cases of dynamite. 1, 2, 3, 4. I had them all hooked up. And went zoom, and they blew 4 cases. The channel is still there. My word. Anyway, he had to spend all summer washing the mud of houses all up and down the highway there because that mud went all over the place, and he had to clean every house off, which he did. But like I say, the channel is still there. These were the kind of people he had down here. A lot of fun with them. Ask me another question, Paul.
Maxine Hawkins is another character.
Maxine Hawkins they had Oliver's Lodge. Now listen, Oliver's Lodge at one time was a restaurant that was listed in the magazine of the best restaurants up and down the East Coast. Been here a long, long time. And it was fallen down 100 years ago. It's still falling down today, but has reached the ultimate point of collapse. And it's still a restaurant. And Hurricane Hugo hit it. Now, this was about the sixth hurricane that hit that place. And we have a guy there, Rooster they call him. His name is Roosevelt. And he wanted to see the hurricane. So everybody's evacuating this place. Damn, all gone. So here in this beat up old house, right on the very edge of this hurricane, old Rooster puts an inner tube on, puts a life jacket on, and puts a rope around himself and ties himself to the second story window upstairs and leans on the windowsill and watches the hurricane. How he never got blown out, I don't know. But it's still there. Matter of fact, when we had to fight against the insurance company, he was one of our best witnesses of how strong that hurricane was, because he was looking smack out into it, watching pieces fly by. Ask me another question here.
Well, you got
I live here, see, huh?
You got married at all these lives.
Yeah, I got married. Jen and I got married at all his lives. I remember the National Enquirer said Mickey Spillane marries daughter's childhood chum. And my oldest daughter, Jane, used to run around a little bit down there because there weren't too many people running around. My oldest daughter was, well, they were both kids at the time. But we've been married 19 years now. And her two daughters are, well, one daughter we put her to Stanford University, and she's now living in Washington, around close to Washington, D.C. She married a guy out of university who they opened up something big in computers at the right time, and when they sold out, he made all kinds of zillions of dollars. I don't know what they're going to buy, though. What's there to buy? I said, I find that money is only something you can use once in a while. You got to put gas in the car. What else is there to do with it? You spend it somehow.
Well, what did you do with the money that you earned?
I don't know. I was never a wastrel, but I didn't kind of. I'll tell you one thing I have. I don't owe a darn thing. All my debts are paid. My credit cards comes in maybe $15 this month, a couple of months with nothing on it, $7. Sometimes it goes as high as $100. That's if I had a big deal going out to restaurants and all that. But living is quiet down here. It's nice and easy. It's not too bad. But now, lately, Murrells Inlet is getting to be a real metropolis. Where Myrtle Beach is up there, they have 104 golf courses in action now, and I understand there's a bunch more on it. Drawing boards ready to come in. But they don't have the water we have where you put boats and go out right in your backyard, go shrimping, crabbing, clamming, anything you want. It used to be that way. It's thinning out a little bit. Too much activity out there in the water. But people are moving in down here. Now, all of a sudden we see these beautiful hospitals being built. We have facilities down here that'll take care of more sick people than you can throw a rock at. And people recognize that. We got a new hospital there. It looks like a grand motel. They have room service. You call up for your breakfast, order what you want, and they bring it to you when you want it. These sort of things. You don't even see the instruments around. You usually have in the hospital all the glassware, whatnot, the tripods that hold up your blood. So they got a screen behind the bed. You lift that up, and that's all the tools there. They pull it down. There's a decoration there. I haven't been there yet. That's what I've been told. But I'm expecting to see a bunch of. I'm here. I'm 85. Talking about old people. I don't have those problems yet. Tell me, ask me something else, Paul.
When you first moved here, I know that you had some thoughts about this property here that you're on now. What was the situation there?
Well, when I moved here, I always wanted to live on the water for a summer vacation. Because I've been coming down to Murrells Inlet ever since the war. Now, during the war, I was flying a P-51 down from New York down to Sarasota, Florida. And I'm flying about 20,000 feet. I looked down and I saw this enormous stretch of beach. I said, gee, wow, look at that beach. Now, there was 60 miles of pure white sand. That's all I could see. Now, I'm an old lifeguard type from out of Long Breezy Point, Long Island, New York. And I love the beach, and always have. And I looked down, I saw this beach there. My God, look at the size of that thing. I looked at my map, and I found there's a B-25 base down here at Myrtle Beach. I landed there. I asked the crew chief, I said, hey, what's so wrong with the paint on this plane to do something with it, you know? Conference, I want to stay here overnight. It was a weekend, which I did. He found something on a paint line or something. I don't know. It was a brand new aircraft. And we went out fishing in the SC rescue boat. We went laying on a huge sand dune. You want to see these 20, 30-foot high sand dunes they had around this place. Hurricane Hazel later took all the sand dunes out. At that time, it was fabulous. But like being in Morocco or something. I've never been in Morocco, but I would picture something like that you see in the movies. It's beautiful. And I said, I'm going to come back to this place one day. Well, anyway, I come back for 3 or 4 vacations after the war, and I come back with my wife and my kids. And one day I'm down here with Don Watts at the time, but he was going to blow up the channel back there. And right across the street was an old fellow who owned the property I'm in now. And actually there's this big old beach house. It survived Hurricane Hazel, didn't get wiped out, and it was something I said, gee, this is exactly what I like to have. So I said to the owner, I said, how much is that house? And he said, well, no, that's very expensive. And I said, well, you know, I'm thinking 6 figures, because this is what it is in Long Island, New York, and Jersey. These houses right on the water. Actually, I'm surrounded on 3 sides by water. And I said, well, how much is it? He said, well, it's $15,000. Boy, I whooped up my teeth. Here it is. He said, you want to see it? I said, nope. It was good enough for me. And I've been here for 50 years. But now, having been wiped out by Hurricane Hugo, no, we got wiped out. Goodbye. And I got a new house now. This is my post-Hugo house. And it's paid for. I'm glad to have it. But now, it's a different piece of architecture than I had before. That's when we decided to really build to withstand any new hurricanes. I mean, we doubled everything. This whole house is so well built. I think we went 100% over specs when we built it. But it was worthwhile. Got a nice place, but again, hurricanes can take out anything. Nature is pretty fierce when it comes to doing things like that. And I'm not a hurricane. But if it comes, now I don't know how, if a hurricane comes, they're ever going to evacuate this area. Everything funnels down into a couple of little things and whew, they're all going to be trapped on it. So you might as well stay here. You know what kills you in a hurricane? If the water doesn't get you and the wind doesn't get you, the traffic gets you. And that's going to be hit by the water or the wind, which is where I have a chance of escaping. Then get caught in a terrible traffic jam up there before you can get over the bridge and out to on the other side of the river. What now, Paul?